Today, with an app for everything and too many options, customers are spoiled for choice. Loyalty is limited and brands are grappling with customer retention. That's where CleverTap fits in, a marketing automation platform that empowers digital consumer brands to leverage user data and redefine customer engagement through AI and personalization. But how is CleverTap standing out in the crowded competitive space of marketing technology to actually increase a user's lifetime value? That and more on this episode of Disruptor Dialogues as we catch up with Anand Jain, the co-founder of CleverTap, on how he went from being a self-taught coder to scaling a global customer engagement platform trusted by 2,000 plus brands. Great to have you on Disruptor Dialogues, Anand, and great to be here at the India headquarters of CleverTap as well.
Thank you, Shivani, for having me. It's a pleasure.
You've literally done it all, from being a door-to-door salesman to building and scaling one of the leading global SaaS companies in Martech. Started very early, no academic track record, worked in the Valley, noted American companies as well like AT&T and Motorola, returned to India, founded India's original restaurant discovery platforms, and now we're here. So tell us a little bit about the transition from BURRP, which was a food tech company, to building CleverTap. What really was the idea behind it, and the aha moment that, hey, I need to build in this space?
One of the things I pride myself is first principles thinker. So how do you use first principles to figure out original concepts, right? When I moved back from the US, it was about okay, how do people even find out where to eat? There's a bunch of new places opening up and so on and so forth, right? So I started the restaurant discovery platform. And then after 3 years of running that, we exited that to Network 18. In Network 18, we were responsible for a bunch of digital properties, whether it was First Post, which was reporting news, cricket websites, Infomedia 18, Money Control, and so on and so forth, right? The first thing that hit us is that customer data is spread across multiple data silos, right? So we were using an email marketing product. There was an SMS product, not from the same company, someone else, some other vendor. We had web analytics. Then there was some other processing that we were doing. And if someone from management came and asked me, okay, so tell me, how was the performance of, say, Money Control in the morning? We had a big breaking news, of a company. How did people react to that? We would be struggling. We'd spend hours trying to piece it all together. And I think that was my moment of aha, that, hey, we need to put all the customer data in one place so that we can use it for multiple purposes, right? We went looking around for something to solve it for, the problem that we were facing. We couldn't find anything. I mean, storing data is not the hard part, but how do you process data? How do you utilize it? Etc. is the hard part. So we went to the management. We said, well, we need 2-3 years to build this, right? And they're obviously in a large company, no one has an appetite to let a project run unfettered for 2-3 years. But we felt so strongly about this. And when I say we, I mean my other two founders as well, right? Sunil and Suresh. So we quit Network 18 and we started CleverTap with this simple thing that if we are able to put all customer data in one place, we should be able to use it for insights like learning more or understanding our users better.
So for the uninitiated, you explained a little bit, but if you can break it down further, how exactly does CleverTap work for your direct clients and eventually for the end consumer?
CleverTap is what you would call a marketing technology company. We help marketing teams, product teams, growth managers, and they go by various titles like CRM managers, customer lifecycle, and so on and so forth. Help all of them make sense of customer data. So I will give you some examples, right? For example, a customer journey across the digital and the physical space is very complex. Let's say that you walk into a store. Now, not every time you walk into a store, you will end up buying something. You might be browsing, you might have a few hours to kill at the airport, and you might just walk into a store and check out their products. Sometimes you have a reference point like, hey, I saw something, let me compare the price here. Or, hey, if the price is right, I might end up buying it, right? So there are different levels of intentions. So can you use customer data, which is in one place, right, to get insights, right? Figure out what are my users doing. Say you have 10 million users or 100 million users, what exactly which are new to my brand, which of them are repeat customers, which of them are like champions, and so on and so forth, right? Happy customers, unhappy customers. Can we then figure out the products that they're interested in? Can we reach out to them? Can we personalize every single communication to them and improve lifetime value for their customers to the end user? So if you are on the other side, like as a consumer, the promise of CleverTap is that you will receive everything that's meant for you and nothing that is not meant for you, which means as if a friend is talking to you, you will receive something that's, hey, we saw a product that's in your price point, would you be interested in that? All of that versus like nothing that you don't really care about, right? Like spam or unwanted messages or things that are not meant for your life stage and so on and so forth.
Got it. We'll come to spam in a bit. When you look at the Martech space and the space that you're disrupting as well, a lot of competitions getting very crowded now, a lot of cheaper alternatives, So how do you believe you're differentiating at the moment, and what would you say is your key moat?
One of the first things that we did when we started CleverTap was to build this core technology called Tesseract DB, right? What it does is we created a database from scratch. It lets you store all customer data in one place, right? Behavioral data, demographic data, geographic data, and so on and so forth. That gives you like the most leverage, right? Because you can store more than like around 10 years or plus of customer data in one place, right? When we looked around, most of the Martech solutions would do like a 60-day, 90-day lookup, etc. So in 60 days, if you came back, they would forget who you are. Right, so that's a huge advantage for us, and that's one of the key modes. From that point onwards, using this data, right, not depending upon a third party, etc. Using all of this data to offer all I said, insights and all of that became a key mode for us, right? That means if a company bought CleverTap, right, if the marketing team signed up for it, it would be useful to more than just the one that signed up for it. Product teams, BI teams, data science, engineering, product, all of these various departments would actually use the same single source of truth to understand their users better and to serve them better.
Okay, so all in one and for everyone.
That's right, you nailed it. So we call ourselves an all-in-one customer engagement platform.
Okay.
And with this, we help you improve customer lifetime value.
Okay, and in terms of your first customer, right, tell us a little bit of that journey. How did you actually get the first customer? Did they pay you? How did it evolve from there? And how many brands are you working with now?
We were thinking about the idea. We were in very early stages of writing some code, etc. This is what engineers do, when we write code, right? To bring this idea to life. I got a call from Ashish of Book My Show, who was grappling with something similar. He said, hey, why do we send the same newsletter to people across all my customers? Why is it not personalized, right? There are some people who only watch English movies. There are some people who watch regional movies. Some people who watch all the popular stars only. So he said, do you know of any product? I said, Ashish, hold on. Which office are you in? And he said, I'm in the Juhu office. And I took a auto rickshaw and then went to the office and I started whiteboarding the idea. What if you could store all your customer data in one place, learn from it, and depending upon, instead of asking the user, would you like to watch these kind of movies? Learn from their behavior and then give them what they need more of. He caught on to the idea. He said, this is great. Why don't you come and deploy the solution? There was a slight problem. We did not have the product ready. We were just ideating and writing some early scratch pieces of code. Then we had to pull 3 all-nighters, and I came up with the first minimum viable product, that version of the product, shipped it to Book My Show, and it took off. I think as we added more bells and whistles to the product, as we added more capabilities, it was a phenomenal opportunity for us to learn from the customer as well, right? So that was my first customer. Of course, payment was out of question. We had no idea how to price the product, which is welcome to the real world of running a business.
So how did you then go about, understanding product market fit in a space like customer engagement? You sort of figure it out on the go.
12 years ago when we started the company, we did not have the industry playbooks for a B2B SaaS company. There were very, very few SaaS companies in India, right? There are multiple companies in the US, other geographies in the Silicon Valley and all, but you can't adapt their playbooks to India. So you have to build something organically for India. And believe me, there was no one, all of the Indian SaaS companies, none of them were selling in India. So we were literally the first ones to do that. Now, product market fit, how do you find that out? Well, you find it out when hanging around in the office, and you see that, this person who used to log into the CleverTap dashboard, once a week on a Monday, right? To see what happened during the weekend, like, what movie tickets were sold and what theaters and so on and so forth, to then, them logging in through the week and on the weekends, and then multiple people logging in. That's when you realize, oh, this is product market fit, because my product has broader adoption. If your product is heavily used, it's a sticky product, like, organically, without you nudging and forcing and all that, then it's a product market fit, and it has to be in more than one place.
Right. So today, what would be the framework that you would advise or suggest to both, the product folks as well as the marketing folks in terms of how to think of using their data?
The mindset to experiment, not have dogma about, like, this is how we will do it, like, so you don't sit in a big boardroom and decide, we are going to send a nudge to our users, like, at 8 p.m. On a Friday, like, don't do that, like, learn from your data. So one is collect all user data in one place, right? Experiment on the data, right? Like, perform multiple experiments, measure the outcomes, because not all experiments will work, right? Let's say you change the onboarding flow, or you change the amount of the offer, or you change the timing or the channel. So you got to learn from all that and then automate. So don't jump out of the door and say, I'll automate everything. Like, do this manually, learn from it, and then you automate. So this cycle has to be there, like,
There are so many apps, so many options, and loyalty is a big thing that brands struggle with. The consumers are fickle. So what do you believe are the smaller key nuances that, consumer facing brands should really be aware of?
Loyalty comes from trust, right? Without trusting something, you will not have loyalty. And trust is built over a period of time. So each time a customer comes to, like, launches your app or goes to your shop, or accesses your website, like, you got to start building trust on every interaction, right? And that's why each of these things matter. Like I said, like, the customer life cycle spans multiple teams and departments. Like, onboarding a customer might be not marketing's problem or product problem, but getting them to come back and transact again might be marketing team, like, but the customer doesn't know all that. The customer only cares, like, and even before you become a customer, like, let's say I saw an ad on TV, or I saw a billboard and I want to download an app, and now I will try it, like, how do you establish trust from the get-go? Like, can you not show me things? Can you not spam me? Can you not, like, these are simple barriers, like simple easy things to hurdles to cross, right? Can you give me what I came looking for, right? First order of business, right? And can you learn from my interactions, learn from my behavior? You also respect a user's preferences. For example, like, hey, I don't want to receive your newsletters, but if, there is a back in stock, or there is some other bill payment reminder, please do send it to me, like, because that is meant for me. But repeated interactions that are trustworthy result in loyalty. And when you have loyal users, you can improve lifetime value. Only then you can actually figure out how to convert the relationship into a transaction.
Got it. And the other thing that play right now is, of course, AI and generative AI. How is all of this possibly going to redefine marketing technology?
10 years ago, 12 years ago, actually, when we started the company and we built this data technology called Tesseract DB, like, that actually, I would say, was like a vision of the future where AI will catch up. How does AI work? Like, it basically means that, you have a lot of customer data. And now today, like, you need to go in and deep dive and figure out all of those things, right? Tomorrow, it will do that analysis for you. Like, tomorrow, it will make decisions on your behalf, but with guardrails in place, right? All of this is a great time, like, in history. I think we're living in the best of the times where all of this has come together. What if you could have AI go fundamentally, like, go figure out, like, insights for you, like your blind spots, like, because we are all humans, we have blind spots and we have biases and all that, right? Remove the bias, and this thing, like, works for you 24/7, right? We are doing early pilots, like, where you have an agentic interface doing all the intelligence work for you, right? So learning from the data, actioning on your behalf, and finally, like, using your brand tonality, your guardrails, your budgets, your organizational compliance and regulations and all of that into account to deliver, like, a phenomenal experience to the user. So this is the ultimate vision for us.
You also recently acquired Rehook.ai, right? So how does that really tie into your overall long-term product vision and what you're doing?
One of the things customers told us is, what, we have to go to this other solution and we have to create our coupons, or maybe we have a small team that does all of this stuff, right? It's not scalable, and this data does not come back into CleverTap, right? Someone applied a coupon. For example, there are some people who will only buy a product when there is a sale that's going on. Like, they're not really fashion forward. But there are some people who don't really look at the price tag. They're fashion forward. They want the first, the new. They go to new and arrivals and all that, and they go look at those products, right? Can you like figure that out, right? We felt the need for a rewards platform, like a complete end-to-end rewards platform. I'll give you one more example. Like, for example, it is said that if you meditate for 7 days, right, you can that becomes a habit, like, because it's not like 1 day or 2 day or 15 minutes. Even if it's 15 minutes, do it for 7 days. You'll start feeling better, feeling the thing, like, and then from the 8th day onwards, it's natural and becomes part of your thing, right? How can you create that gamification? How can you give someone, a reward, whether it's a coin, whether it's like a star or a kudos or whatever it is, doesn't have to be money, so that they complete that streak of 7 days, right? Foundationally, like, we said that we need a platform that does all of this. We were super lucky to find, Rehook. .ai. We met them and we were like, man, we need to join hands. It's unbelievable what you guys have built. We have now fully integrated that in CleverTap, and we have a few customers already live on the platform.
Wow, so amazing to also understand consumer psyche in a sense and cater to that. So give me a sense of how many brands you currently work with, both globally and in India, the categories as well as the geographical spread and revenue breakup.
There are 4 or 5 primary verticals that we focus on. So starting with BFSI, but BFSI also includes insurance companies, buy now, pay later. We have wallets, we have banks, credit card issuers, loans, and so on and so forth, right? So that, and both new age as well as traditional businesses, right? The second would be what we call as transactional business model. These would be retailers. Now, whether you're a D2C brand, whether you started offline and now you want to go online, or you went online first and then now you have stores, and so on and so forth. It would mean travel companies, airlines. Then we have gaming. And the last category would be a subscription, right? Now, whether you are a telecom operator, whether you are a meditation app, whether you are a media company, like, that now puts things behind the paywall, we count all of them as customers, right? So there are 4 or 5 larger categories. So like they say, if you can drive in India, you can drive anywhere in the world. We said if you can sell to the value conscious Indian corporate buyer, like, you can probably sell anywhere else in the world. So India was our starting point. We expanded into Southeast Asia. We have Middle East, Africa, Europe, North America, South America, right? So in all of these places, we have teams and we have people and we have customers. About 50% of the revenues come from India today, right? But the others are catching up soon. We serve about 2,000 plus customers across the globe.
Okay. So what would you say your reach is now then, reaching the customers of your customers as well, and the queries that you solve for?
The reach is about 4 billion devices.
Okay.
Wow. Right? And that's,
these are all like...
These are all unique devices.
Okay.
Now, you might have the same device with 3 different apps. And for each customer, we'll count them as one. Like, but this goes much beyond that, right? And then we process about, I would say, last time we checked, and this would have been a little dated, like, but over 1 trillion plus queries every month. This becomes massively real time, massive scale and speed, like, so I'll give you one more example. The scale of IPL in this country is mind-boggling, like hundreds of millions of people watching that live. Imagine the time between toss and when the players walk in, right? So you have about, I would say, 10 to 11 minutes, like, when they do the toss and they interview the couple of captains and then, the rest of the players walk in. Now, if you are one of these esports, like, where you want to, like, now create fantasy teams and all that, you have those 11 minutes, right? Can CleverTap, like, perform at that level of scale? We, of course, do that because we have customers that are heavily invested on the IPL ecosystem, whether it's food delivery, whether it's cricket scores, whether it's fantasy sports. That truly defines the scale of how we operate things.
Sure. So what is your pricing model or your business model, and how has that evolved over the 12 years?
We said we will only be successful if we help our customers grow their monthly active users. So we price our product based on the monthly active users, right? You obviously, like any other SaaS company, you sign an annual contract at the minimum, right? Over the years, like, it used to be one, all you may, like, all you can. And we realized that some of the early stage companies do not really need all the bells and whistles and AI and all that. Like, they're looking for some basic stuff, right? So like 3 years ago, I think we divided the packaging of CleverTap, the product, into 3 buckets. We have the essentials plan, the advanced plan, and the cutting edge. And a lot of the innovation that we do, especially on AI and other data related things, we put in the cutting edge, which is, the largest of the large enterprises. They actually go sign up for cutting edge, and they're extremely heavy users of that. But from a packaging perspective, you can buy consumables separately. You can buy WhatsApp, you can buy email, you have SMS, RCS these days, and then we have some add-ons like reminders and product experiences that you can buy separately. So you can a la carte that into the base plans.
You work with this entire spectrum of companies across the board. You are at a great vantage point to understand consumer behavior and the trends on that front. So what are some of the interesting aspects of customer behavior that you have observed over the years? How is that changing? And anything specific to India as well?
India is as diverse, probably the sum total of everything else in the world. We have everything from 3G, 4G, 5G. We have extremely low-end Android devices to high-end, phones, iPhones maybe, or other Samsung devices, and so on and so forth. In terms of the consumer spread or the user spread, it's the widest that we have seen across any part of the world, right? That's the foundation. Of course, different languages and all of that makes it even more complex, right? In terms of behaviors, interesting behaviors, right? One of the things that we learned, and this is very surprising, it's better to retain a few high-paying customers than to go for the mass, right? Which goes against conventional wisdom. But data, like I said, we'll use data as a source of truth. Data proves that it's better to do that.
Thanks, Anand, for very clearly explaining, what really went behind CleverTap's foundation and what you're really solving for. A lot of AI and ML also behind the scenes, as you mentioned. So let's really go and understand how all of that works and how you're solving for customer retention and engagement.
Absolutely. Excited to show you the product.
So time now to do a deep dive into what really goes behind the clever at CleverTap and how they help brands reach out to their customers at the right time, through the right channel, with the right voice tonality, boiling down to an emotionally relevant message. And of course, we have Anand with us. Anand, if you can simulate a dashboard and take us through key features, right from your customer segmentation to your prediction and experimentation engines.
Let me start off by showing you analytics, which shows insights, customer insights. This is a demo e-commerce account. Let's look at transactions. So for all the transactions, I want to split by the brand that was selling the most, right? And we will look at a certain time period. So let me hit view analysis. And now we are looking at a 30-day time window.
Okay.
And this is a trend line. Of course, it's a demo account, so things look wacky, but in the real world, it would be a lot more streamlined. And this says what all products were being sold, so how many people bought Nike product, Nautica, Samsung, and so on and so forth, right? These are all the products, right?
Got it.
Now, you may want to compare this to the last month, right? So very simple, you can just go here, click to previous month, and in real time, literally this populates and says that, the sum of the things, sales are declining or they're growing. Some brands are more popular than the other, right? This is the foundation for insights, right? And you can go do a individual user level insight, or you can look at it very broadly, right? On the basis of the insights, now you may want to go create a segment of users. The easiest segment, is what we call as an RFM segment.
Okay.
RFM stands for recency, frequency, and monetary value, right? And it's an automated segmentation. Say we look at 1 month of customer data, and we say for all the people that showed up, I want to see what is the segment that they fall into. And this magically brings up 2 axes, there's a frequency score, right? And there's a recency score. And we have 10 buckets in which we divide the users. The champions are the ones that have an extremely high frequency and also high recency, right? So if I click here, it will tell me that, hey, these are the set of people that have shown up more than 5 times in the last month. They have, spent on an average of $192 with you, and then they've also given you permission to reach them, right? So the champions of a brand. And of course, as you go down, this will change, right? So there might be some users, for example, who CleverTap has identified at risk, and you should go figure out why are they at risk, right?
At risk of losing them.
Yes, and if you just click here and this says that, it was a while since we last saw them. So they're almost as frequent as the champions, but it's been like 10-15 days since you last saw them, and they have not come back. So if you were the growth manager of a company, like, you would then come up with some strategy to engage these users. The slightly more AI driven way of looking at users is the ability to predict what is going to happen. Prediction capability is bucketed under capability of the umbrella of clever.ai. And what does that mean? Predictions tells you across various dimensions what is going to happen. So let us look at conversions as one example, right? I'll click on conversions. It's been pre-set up in this demo account, but you can go super granular. You can say how many people are likely to renew my subscription in the next month, right? Whose subscription is due, or how many people will transact with me in the next 7 days, right? So with this prediction, there are 1,730 people that is a high propensity to transact. There are 1,270 with a medium propensity and about 5,000 people in the low propensity. Now, of course, there is like the biggest bucket is lowest propensity to transact, which is the rule of life, right? If you have 100 million people, they're not all going to come and transact in the next 30 days.
And this is, of course, based on their behavioral patterns.
This is absolutely based on their behaviors with a lot of heavy liberal dose of AI thrown in, right? You could be a skeptic and you say, well, you know what, the people who are CleverTap predicts as high, propensity to transact, what makes them like the likely buyers, right? So we will go to the definition. Now, reasoning is very interesting. This falls into the explainable AI, right? Of what we predict, why do we predict that? We see that people, these are the 3 major rules that contributed to that prediction. So now we are down to the building blocks of AI, right here. And this model has like a 87% accuracy, which is excellent rating, right? So you can trust this model. You could very simply engage this set of people right here by creating a campaign. So you can say, I want to target the high propensity, or better still, maybe low propensity users, and I want to send them some sort of a coupon. So I will start with like a simple message, then progressively add more and more things to it, like, sweeten the offer, hey, free returns for you, or like, here's a 10% coupon, and I'll show you those parts. One of the recent features that we've launched is promotions, like, through the acquisition of Rehook, we spoke about that. What promotions or the reward management system lets you do is create coupons, like a one-time use coupon or a multiple use. You can apply to certain categories of products in the cart. Like, let's say you want to promote a certain brand or a certain order value, you can do that. You can reward, like, for example, loyal shoppers, like, by giving them coins or giving them points, and you can say, now you can redeem this at the end of the month, right? So there are multiple ways in which you can do this. For example, if you complete the sign up process on the same day in which you first, you're new to the brand, you launch the brand, launch the app, I will reward you with something, like, I'll give you something, right? Or it could be a gaming scenario also, right? You complete 3 levels in X number of days, and we can reward you with something, right? So that's based on that. You can create bulk codes, etc. There's a lot of cross promotion that we have seen, where one brand offers discounts for other brands and so on and so forth. Right? We enable all of that. Now you can distribute the coupon through CleverTap. One of the super exciting capabilities that I want to show you is also called product experiences. For the growth team to change the flow of the app, to change the layout of the app, the color scheme, the kind of offers, or enable certain key capabilities for certain set of people without bothering their engineering teams.
Oh, so you don't have to go to product engineering to change.
Not at all. Like, you can liberate them, like, you can free them up, like, to focus on other core things. While you can actually say, you know what, wouldn't it be cool if I could, let's say, in a financial services app, like, for certain set of my users, I could enable this capability, right? For people who have the platinum card, can I show them rewards? This is a little technical, but it requires a one-time integration. And after the one-time integration, you don't have to go bother the product and engineering teams anymore, right? Once this is done, you can enable feature flags. And on the basis of this coming back as analytics, you can then change the offers, or you can tweak certain rewards, etc. in real time.
Say a simple nudge, like a notification that all of us can relate to. What are the usual conversion rates that you get from something as simple as that?
It depends on the industry. It depends on the kind of message that you are sending, right? For example, there could be transactional message, right? Like, hey, your due date is today, correct? versus, hey, now we have something back in stock, right? So these different kinds of messages will have different conversion rates, and it also depends on the kind of channel that you're using. Whether you're talking to a customer, like a repeat customer, like a champion, or whether you're talking to someone that's already hibernating or you are about to lose them, right? So it varies. We have seen anything from like less than 3% all the way to 30%, 40% conversion, depending upon the message.
Got it. From the lens of a case study for a customer, how have you helped them do it the right way, right time, right distribution channel, and how have they benefited?
One of the key capabilities that we launched recently is called reminders, right? This lets brands set those reminders very intelligently. Okay, let's take an example, e-commerce example, right? This is a reminder for someone to rate the brand once the delivery is done. Like, how was your delivery? We get asked these questions, right? As an NPS, etc. So we'll say we will do this until 5 days after due date, and then we'll drop it if the person doesn't really care. And we want to do this based on the product that they bought, and where for personalization we will use the name of the product here. As a user, you can cancel the reminder, and you can also snooze the reminder. So in the case of a bill payment, you may want to send the reminder a few days prior, right? So 5 days, 3 days on the D day, and then you can change the messaging after that, post facto, right? So one of our customers in the financial services space literally earns $1 million+ on the basis of this capability every month.
Just by nudging them with a
just
reminder.
by nudging the user. So they earn $1 million more just by reminding people to pay. That's it. Now a missed payment is penalty and fees and cancel subscriptions and all that, right?
Yeah.
But a timely payment can mean that your relationship and your trust with the brand increases.
Where do you draw the line when it comes to hyper-personalization, where the customer is okay with it, or you're really overdoing it? How do you draw the line there, even from your end, right, as CleverTap, in terms of the access to all of that data and actually personalizing it for them?
Whatever we do and whatever my customers do, it centers around privacy. And it also centers around customer preferences, right? So we provide a full-fledged customer preference center where you can go and choose what communication you want to receive as the end user of a brand, and that is respected. There are also like very responsible brands that now believe in capping the amount of message that they send. So we expose a capability called frequency caps, where you can actually per category decide not more than 2 messages a week, right? You could also do not disturb hours, or quiet hours, right? Of course, you can override that based on an emergency message or something that you want to say, but most of these are set in places, right? These things come together to make sure that it's a solid, good experience for the end user.
Right. So you're saying sometimes not messaging at all also is the right call.
Is the right thing, depending upon what is your user and understanding the user, right? If it's if someone orders 3 times a day food from you, why would you want to message the person and spoil their experience, right?
Right, of course. In marketing, they also have these 5 key emotions that you really ride on for your messaging. So if you can break that down.
There are 5 primary emotions this is joy, trust, surprise, anxiety, and FOMO. And different brands use these emotions differently. For example, a financial institution may want to use the primary emotion of trust, right? Not anything else. While, sometimes we see on the travel sites, they say last 3 seats remaining on this airplane, and they use a little bit of FOMO to create that, urgency in you, right? But either ways, I think you have to decide what's right for your brand, and you have to stick with that. So brand guidelines and brand guardrails are very important here.
Got it. If you look at the top, say, 500 brands globally in the apps, how many of them and how much percentage of retention and engagement tools do they actually use? So what really is the market there to penetrate further?
I think there's a lot of growth left. There's a lot of market left to be, I would not use the word captured, but to be educated. Right? There are many brands that still live in the 90s, they are still thinking that, hey, my customers will come to me whether I message them or not, whether I communicate with them or not. And customers as individuals have very, very different needs, right? And they're different people. So the ability to understand that at an individual level, to talk to them, etc., is the tools like CleverTap make it very easy. 10-12 years ago, it was very hard for you to put this all together. My own personal story goes like that, that it was very hard for us to understand the users, and hence we started CleverTap. So I think for the remaining 80% of the brands that don't use anything, we have a lot of education to do. We do that through webinars, to white papers, to by going and talking to events and so on and so forth.
Yeah. And what are some of the harder, nuanced problems that you are, solving for, and how important is, having a product mindset in this scenario?
It's very, very important to look at this not as individual pieces that, hey, let's send a message to a person, or let's segment them, or let's understand the behavior. I think you have to look at it as a whole. And one of the most nuanced problems is that it is not just a messaging problem. To personalize also means that you have to change or morph the app, right? One of my customers I was recently talking to, I told them that you have multiple age groups, like, you have teenagers that use your app, you have senior citizens, you have everyone in the middle. What if, without writing a piece of code, you can actually morph the app as if they feel this app was made for me? So everything from the language, the flows of the app, the products that you offer, etc., changes based on who the person is. And you learn that over a period of time, right? So I think that is a very nuanced thing. You can't paint all of this in a broad stroke, like, you have to go down super narrow. And we do this, we do this for a few of our customers, and the results is finally extremely outstanding, like, for them.
Sure. So what next, Anand, in terms of, your growth? It's been a 12-year journey. We do know that, you're also considering an IPO that's in the pipeline. So how are you looking at things?
We started, our life in India, and now I think we've been fortunate enough to have a presence in all the major markets of the world. IPO will happen. I do not know the timeline. I wish I could see the future, but we're working towards that. Basically, to get to an IPO, you require predictable growth. You need sustainable growth, and you need profitability, right? So working on all the aspects to make it happen.
And your path to profitability, is that something that you're seeing in sight? You're also looking at a reverse flip.
Correct. I think one of the markets that rewards growth is it's a new market for us in that sense, from a unlocking the liquidity perspective, right? India is one of the emerged markets. Last 3-4 years we have seen that. So it's a natural step for us. We are working in the process.
So you work with so many brands, what is your favorite brand or app that you use on a daily basis?
Oh, there are so many. I mean, they're all on the home page of my phone. I would say.
Who does the best targeting then, out of your favorite ones?
They know me very well. I wonder why, but I think quick commerce apps have really changed the paradigm, especially places like India, financial services apps, where they level the playing field for the fortunate and not so fortunate, they make financial instruments available to everyone, are some of the ones. And of course all the media apps, providing entertainment to people. I think those are some of my favorite categories of apps.
You've not named one yet.
I would say Zepto, for example, Paytm. We have Dream11, are some of the ones that I personally use.
Okay, great to get to know you as well as the company that you're building, Anand.
Thank you so much, Shivani. Thank you.